The anonymous flower sender was Ikuina. And all of the flowers' meanings were directed at me, the artist, Euphoria. Does that mean he already knew? Like he already knew he was Euphoria? Or like...
Maybe he knew like he worked there, but he didn't know which one it was.
Or maybe he like just knew he lived there.
Yeah. That's, I think, creepier.
Oh.
He knows his house.
He doxed him. I couldn't stand roundabout methods like this. Normally I cut ties over it. But not this time.
He fucking kidnapped him so he could see where he lived.
Oh my god.
Followed him home.
But not this time. It was Phrase, the artist behind the wound photo. I couldn't deny he had potential as a motif. As Euphoria, I captured humanity's darkest desires on my canvas. And there was at least a chance that he might secretly fit the bill. Therefore, I decided to keep an eye on him for a little longer. Why he's interested? Because he's creepy.
Yeah, isn't he into that kind of thing?
Yeah. Oh boy. The purple pansies were the last anonymous flower delivery we received. Ikuina or Phrase was nowhere to be seen. Oh, he did not handle that well. He'd be like, okay. He shot his shot.
Oh man.
Instead, he started submitting a lot of art pieces to the fourth face. While the images were brighter and more powerful, they were all kind of samey. Still, he was moving in a positive direction. If this was a direct result of me rejecting him, then perhaps this was a prelude to the real deal. Once all traces of Ikuina vanished, I went back to my regular slothful life. He'd be like, anyways. That day, I drifted in and out of sleep well until past noon. The door flew open and Taku ran in. Toa, wake up and help! I wasn't scheduled to work today, so it has to be an emergency. I got dressed and headed down to the first floor. When I entered the exam room, the first thing I heard was a man groaning. Ugh! Fuck! Damn, what the hell? Don't touch it, just stay still. It was a small-time gangster in a cheap, brightly colored shirt, stained red around the midsection. He was lying on the exam table, grimacing in pain, while Ray examined his wound. I'll take over. Oh, the doctor's here now. You're going to be okay. What does it mean? Relieved, Ray backed away from the patient, and Taku immediately started treatment. We've got Arimura-kun working the reception desk right now. Ray whispered as he walked up beside me. Wouldn't he be more useful here instead of me? He's stuck to talking to who right now. You know you can't handle that. Ray was referring to an elderly patient who would demand an explanation for his prescription every time he went to pay for his treatment. Of course, Taku always gave him this information during his appointment, but he still questioned everything. I've dealt with him a few times myself. The wound's pretty deep. Is this from a death match? Taku had opened the man's shirt and was now carefully examining his injury. Kind of, but not exactly. What do you mean? I got my ass kicked in a match, so I fled the area, but at some point my legs came out and I fell into the gutter. Then I passed out, and when I came to, I sensed somebody coming closer. Figured it was the same guy coming to finish me off, so I tried to get out of there, but my stomach hurt like hell, and when I looked down, that's when you first noticed the cut. Bingo, I tell you, thought I was a goner for sure. Stomach cut open, bleeding wouldn't stop, literal agony. I panicked, man. Ray and I stepped in as needed, following orders as Taku gave them. There, you're all set. Once Taku finished treating his patient, he rose from his stool. I'll prescribe you painkillers and antibiotics. Make sure to take all of the antibiotics, you hear me? Right. The patient was still grimacing in pain, but his condition was more stable. Taku shot a pointed look at me and Ray, then left the exam room. The two of us followed suit. A lot of patients lately who pass out drunk and wake up with new injuries there was one yesterday and the one day before too. Yeah, there's like a ton these days. Maybe it's the rumor going around, the goddess of whimsy, was it? No, that's a lady who patches them up. In this case, I'd say it's more of a Jack the Ripper thing. Ray squinted back at him dubiously. What, so the goddess of whimsy goes around treating all the victims of Jack the Ripper? We can't be sure the same culprits involved in every instance. For all we know, we might have a copycat criminal on our hands. Surely even a goddess can't go around tending to every single injury on the street. I mean, sure, but when it happened to Toa, he was bandaged up afterwards, right? Yeah. Everyone who was bandaged up got their injury while they were passed out. It's possible that there's more than one culprit involved, but it definitely seems like the injury and treatment might be a package deal. But if so, isn't that kind of weird? Like, why did the goddess patients get injured in the first place? I can't remember how it happened, then it must have taken place while they were unconscious, right? Has there ever been a case where the goddess person treated someone who was still awake? If so, you think we'd hear rumors of what they look like. I know, right? But we haven't at all. So maybe the Ripper and the goddess are in cahoots with each other? Now you're overthinking it. What's the point in anyone teaming up to do this shit? I don't know. Maybe they get something out of it somehow? You're grasping at straws, pal. You think so? Aww. Good luck there. Ray fell silent. The conversation ended there and we went back to the exam room. Oh god, I need water. I'll be back. After the man left the clinic, Ray and I cleaned up the exam room. Jack the Ripper and the goddess of whimsy, Toa, what do you make of all this? It was the first he'd spoken in quite some time, so clearly he was hung up on it. Beats me. God, Toa, just think about it for a minute. This involves you, you know. So what? Oh my god! Grumbling, Ray started to tie up the garbage bag. Just then, I caught sight of a discolored flower stem. The anonymous bouquets had withered and died. Come to think of it, we stopped getting flower deliveries. Yep. He tied the bag up tightly. And I haven't seen Ikuina-san, like, at all. I mean, I know I complained about all the flowers, but now that they've stopped coming, I kind of miss them. You can't have it both ways. Oh. He's damaged. Yeah, that was my fault. He's like, yeah, I don't know why he doesn't come anymore.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know, but Ikuina-san's such a genuine gem. Having him around always brightened my day. Oh.
He didn't brighten mine.
Stared at you. His face lit up like he thought of something brilliant. We can see him anytime we want at the flower shop. True. Toa, go over there. Why me?
No.
I looked at him reproachfully. Well, you've been there before. It's not hard to find. Look, this is just a hunch, but he faced me with a meaningful grin. I think he's into you. When he came by the clinic to get treated, he was staring at you like the whole time. ... Yo, really? Apparently Ray was paying attention. Because he's phrase. Fudays? What does that mean? You remember the wound photo posted on Roost's blog? Oh yeah, the wristlet thing. He's the artist behind it. What? You're kidding? He yelled in surprise, then hastily lowered his voice. Wait a minute. I didn't know that. You came to Roost that one time. The manager told me so. He did? Why didn't you tell me sooner? He hissed quietly, then paused. Wait, so Ikuina-san knew about Roost? Apparently, said he's a big fan of Euphoria. Wait, really? So he is into you? Ray pointed at me with a playful smirk. Well then, it sounds like you ought to get your butt down to the flower shop. I don't know about that. How come? You said you liked his artwork, right? He was the one sending us anonymous flower deliveries. What? He blinked at me wide-eyed. Really? I think so. Well, if they were from him, why did they stop all of a sudden? Because I told them to. What? When? The day he went to came to get treated. So you tell him to stop even though you're not really sure it was him? 99% sure though. 99% isn't 100. Why'd you tell him to stop?
Why are you so passionate about this?
I mean, it worked, didn't it? No, he just really wants the flowers. He looked at me in disbelief, then his expression contorted in anger. Toa, you need to go and apologize. What for?
What?
Ikuna-san looks up to you. You can't talk to him like that. Look, sure, it got the flowers to stop, but you probably destroyed him in the process. Don't you? I know exactly how you said it too. Besides, even if he was behind all the flowers, he wasn't doing anything wrong. The anonymous part was kind of weird, but it was harmless. I keep telling you, you have no consideration for other people. That's why you keep hurting everyone.
God, I'm fucking like
buddy. I stopped short. I was going to give Ray more details about Ikuina, but on second thought, I didn't need to. He what? Nothing. Just apologize, got it? Do you have his number? Yeah. Then it shouldn't take long at all. Meet up with him in person and apologize. Otherwise, I'm banning you from Roost, got it? ...
Oh, no.
Now that was something I could not abide. And knowing Ray, he might really do it. I don't understand why it pissed him off, but then again, he always took issue with my behavior. Since recent developments with Ikuina were already on my mind, I simply told myself this was the perfect opportunity. Ring-a-ling. Bark.
No, she hates Ikuina now.
It's a sixth sense. I headed back to my apartment where I called him on my cell. But it just rang and rang, so instead I got dressed and headed out. Oh my god, left on red. I feel he's like dead.
Yeah, he
like,
killed himself.
And then he like has like his 13 Reasons Why tape.
Maybe like flower language.
Yeah, you killed me.
White lily.
Under the clear blue sky, I ambled down the sidewalk in the direction of the flower shop. Rosé. Eventually, I found it, the wooden building. Oh, flower shop. I peered in through the window, no sign of Ikuina. As I pulled the door open and stepped inside, a female clerk ran over to me. Welcome. What can I help you find today? Ikuina-san. Ikuina-kan's not scheduled today. He let us know he won't be coming in for a while. I see. Thanks.
Dude, he literally killed himself.
He's like, yeah, I'm gonna be gone forever.
Forever. Don't see me again.
And with that, I walked out. If he was skipping work, then he was probably cooped up in his house working on his art. I pulled out my phone from my coat pocket and sent him a text asking to talk. Now all I could do was wait. And so I headed downtown to wander around and drink some booze.
Of course.
Is it explore time? I gotta listen to the jam in the background.
Oh boy. I'm digging this.
During the day, the downtown area looked dull and drab. The sunlight illuminated all the dirt and stains normally concealed under the darkness of the night. As I walked down the washed out street, I spotted something wriggling in the corner of my eye. There were two figures wrestling in the dark alley. Were they unbearably horny right there in the middle of the day? I was going to pass by, but then I heard a groan and stopped short. He's crying. Oh, it was a male voice and it sounded like he was in pain, not the throes of pleasure. Curious, I turned in the direction of the alley. One man was lying on the ground while the other man straddled him. The man on top had both his hands raised over his head, holding something that glinted in the sunlight. A knife, maybe. But yeah, I wasn't scared. I walked over to them, and the man with the the knife left to his feet. Then he took off down the alley like a bat out of hell. I could smell something in the air. His residual scent, perhaps.
Ew.
Ew. As his footsteps retreated into the distance, the man on the ground let out a whimper. On close inspection, I could see a medicine vial on the ground beside him, along with a strangely shaped knife. Its blade was curved outwards. I crouched down and examined the victim. He was still moaning and twitching, dosed with something probably. The man who fled must have drugged him in order to try to stab him. Injured while lying on the street unconscious.
Oh boy.
The same thing nearly happened to this guy. I picked up the vial and the knife. The knife was a foldable one, so I tucked the blade away and put it into my pocket. Over time, the victim would sober up and go back to his regular life. His attacker wasn't really trying to kill him. I knew this.
Do you?
Because I recognized the smell in the air. And I knew what it was. I turned back and headed out onto the main street. Oh my gosh, the cutter person. Eventually, I arrived at the high-rise condo building I had woken up in once before. The room number was 1403.
Awesome.
I passed through the lobby, then rode an elevator up to the 14th floor. Then I walked down the hall until I reached the door with 1403 on the number plate. I leaned in close for any movement, no dice, without a necessarily guarantee that no one was home. I grabbed the doorknob and slowly twisted it. Ugh. Naturally, it was locked. Damn! I crouched down on the spot and pulled my lockpick wire out of my coat pocket. Just casually has my lock-picking tools.
Were you gonna go?
Yeah, he also has like a camping kit, flashlight.
I mean, I guess he passes on the street a lot. So.
Yeah. I lightly bent the tip, then inserted it into the keyhole. I learned how to pick locks when I was in the Takesato Gumi. They taught us so that we'd be able to break into debtors' houses if they refused to answer the door, but in most cases, people just bust the doors anyway, so it wasn't especially useful. Following my instincts, I worked the lockpick, and when I felt it give, I pulled the wire out. Then I stood up and tested the knob again. Uh-oh. Guys, someone's not taking care of their plants.
He's so depressed, you can't even still look at them.
The door opened, I walked in and swiftly pulled it shut behind me. Like last time, the hall was overflowing with plants. I stepped into the house without taking my shoes off. Then I followed the hall to the room at the end and opened the door. Uh-oh. There, I found the living room I remember from last time. Like before, the walls were lined with potted plants, and there was the bed I had once woken up in. Not to mention the distinct, unique smell that filled the room. It was exactly as I remembered it, with one significant difference: the plants had all died, including the ones in the hall. The floor was littered with petals, pruning shears, a knife, and other gardening supplies, almost like they were abandoned in the middle of a project. I pulled out the knife I retrieved from the alley and flicked it open. Then compared it to the knife on the floor, a perfect match. Except the knife on the floor had dark red stains on its blade. What were the chances that I find another one of these strangely shaped knives entirely by coincidence? I refolded the knife in my hand and put it back in my pocket. On the floor by the first aid kit, I could see dark droplets of liquid. They were dried, sticky, and faintly red blood probably. I looked over at the bed and noticed something long, thin, and white mixed in with the messy sheets. As I approached, I realized it was an unraveled bandage. Reminded me of the time I woke up here. Then I looked over at the table.
Is it his bandage?
Ew. There was some sort of lump sitting there. At first, I thought it was a chunk of rotten meat, but it wasn't. It was something I recognized, though it was crushed and discolored. I don't recognize that.
How do you recognize that?
I walked over to the table and examined the lump. It looked a lot like the wound photo posted on Roost's blog. Freza created it by making a flower look like a gash, which meant that the condo could only belong to one person. Smile. Suddenly my lips curled into a smile. Hee, I'm so smart. All according to Keikaku.
Oh, literally. I a detective over here.
After the sunset, I headed straight to Roost. When I walked in, Ray spotted me and walked over. How'd it go, Toa? Did you get a hold of Ikuina-san? When I went to the flower shop, they said he wouldn't be coming in for a while. I tried calling him, but he wouldn't answer, so I sent a text. He frowned at me concerned. Whatever he said to him must have really crushed him. Anyways. I shrugged wordlessly. Then I walked over to the counter and sat down. He followed after me and let out a sigh. Well, I guess all we can do now is wait. Not like we can force him to talk to us. Just then, I heard the door open and someone walked in. What? No way. Ray looked over. Uso. Hey, your arm looks different. Naturally, I turned and looked. Standing there with an awkward smile on his face was Ikuina.
Hey, did you break into my house?
Hey, I noticed that your smell was in my house. Good evening. Oh, he has like little eye bags too.
I'm so stressed because he got rejected.
Ikuina-san, are you okay? Ray hurried over to him. He blinked in mild puzzlement. What do you mean? Well, I mean, I heard Toa was rude to you, so I thought it might have made you feel bad. Oh. He pursed his lips and shook his head slightly. I'm okay. You sure? Yes. Well, you look really tired, or maybe kind of sick.
You look like shit.
Oh, I'm just sleep deprived. I'm okay, really. Aw, glad to hear. Anyways, come on in. Ray led Ikuina to the counter. I could sense him looking at me, but I made a point of ignoring him.
God.
He sat down beside me, smiling faintly. I got your text, Toa-san. Thank you. Sure. I glanced at him out of the corner of my eye. Ray was right. The guy looked kind of gaunt. His eyes were sharper than before. What'll you have? Absinthe. Or you, Toa? Surprised me. Okay, boss, would you? The manager nodded and started making our drinks. I lit a cigarette to direct and exhaled softly. Meanwhile, Ikuina stared down at the counter. I could faintly smell that peculiar meadowy scent. I looked over at the manager and found him pouring the absinthe. Well, I'm glad you finally showed up, Ikuina-san. Toa here felt awful about what he said. Is that so?
It is so.
Ikuina looked at Ray in surprise and shifted his gaze to me. Dude. Wink. I glared at Ray. He stuck his tongue out at me. Here you are. Thank you. Ikuina took his glass. Oh god. Ikuina-san, by all means, feel free to give Toa a piece of your mind. Take as much time as you need. With a joke and a wink, Ray grabbed the dishcloth and a tray and walked off. Ooh, new glass. I sipped my drink in silence. I made you a whiskey cocktail of my own invention. How do you like it? The manager called out to me to get my feedback. It's good. Excellent. I could tell this drink was tailored to my preferences. As for Ikuina, he took tiny sips of his absinthe. We sat there in silence like perfect strangers. The air between us was tense. Then I sensed his gaze, and when I glanced over at him, our eyes met. He was looking at me with determination. Tosan! His tone was of steadfast conviction. Are you sure you can't use me as an art model?
I'm gonna kill myself.
I looked away without saying anything. There's something I'd like you to see. He grabbed the rucksack at his feet, pulled out a folder the size of a memo pad, and set it on the counter. Cigarette between my lips, I picked up the folder and opened it to find a stack of photographs the size of postcards.
Is it of him?
Oh, no, it's just flowers. There were about 30 of them, and they all featured flowers made to look like moons. As I flipped through them, his art style began to evolve dramatically. They made the one posted to Roost's blog look tame by comparison. These new ones featured tacky, oversaturated colors and scattered petals. At this point, you can't really tell he was trying to imitate flesh moons. Subjective opinions of his style of evolution aside, his new work was brimming with unnaturally raw passion. What do you think? Ikuina spoke hesitantly as he attempted to gauge my reaction. Not bad. It's my honest opinion. After all, it was hard to find an artist who could imbue their work with this much heat. It was reminiscent of an artist in his declining years.
Already declining.
At my response, a relief smile crept up on his face. Thank you very much, but actually, I'm thinking about moving away from flowers. You're quitting? Yeah, I'm starting to have trouble holding back, so much so I can't even work at the store. He rolled up his sleeves. Both arms were covered with bandages from wrist to elbow. Red stains sweep through here and there.
Ew.
Before I knew it, I was cutting myself instead of the flowers. They're just not enough to placate me anymore. So you want more? What I truly want to make doesn't involve flowers, but it would be difficult to create. Honestly, it's probably wrong for me to do it. I get that, but... He mumbled to himself under his breath. I put my cigarette out in the ashtray. It was time. Ikuina's catalyst had gone exactly to plan.
He wanted to break him.
Like, if I killed myself in front of these boys, how I changed the trajectory of their lives. It's literally I changed my mind. What? I feel like painting you after all. Exhaling cigarette smoke, I smiled at him faintly. He looked at me in shock. His lips quivered. You mean it?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Out of nowhere, Ikuina grabbed his glass and downed his absinthe in a single swallow. Well, there, are you okay? Ray came brushing over like he was supervising us from a distance. Yes, I'm okay. I apologize. Rubbing his mouth with the back of his hand, he bowed to Ray. Then he looked at me with feverish eyes. This means so much to me. Thank you, really. What made you change your mind?
You're fucking nuts.
I faced him with a meaningful look. If I get blackout drunk tonight, you'll nurse me back to health, right? Oh. Instantly, the color drained from his face. His expression was stiff with a blend of hope and despair. Hey, I told you to be more careful about, Ikuina-san. He could jump to his feet, whipped some money out of his wallet, and slammed it down on the counter. Then he grabbed his rucksack and headed for the door. Sheesh! What's gotten into him? Is he still not feeling well? Ray murmured in concern as he watched Ikuina disappear outside. I let a dry laugh and raised my glass to my lips.
Okay, I can't even tell you. Is he supposed to be the good guy or the bad guy?
I don't know.
Nuts. Why can't he be into
They're all nuts.
Literally.
I left Roost and ambled down the bustling Koao Street, but I still had some time left. Maybe I should go see him before I go home. Time to go say hi.
Ikuina.
Oh wait, it's red. Oh, directed exploration. Uh-oh. Quick save. I got a game over. We'll talk. Okay, whatever. Move. I don't get it. Oh, okay.
Alright, you
a prank. It was just a prank. Hey there, Toa. Are you off? Are you off the clock? Ran out of patience, so I'm taking a little break. What about you? Just got back from Roost. Gotcha. In that case, have a palate cleanser. He handed me a can of coffee, as per usual. Ray told me about Ikuina-san. Did you go to the flower shop? Yeah, but they said they won't be coming in for a while. Then I bumped into him at Roost. Oh, so you did find them. How'd it go? Nothing really happened. Smirks. You sure? Ray told me all about it. Said you rejected his flowers, so chances are good he's feeling hurt. He didn't seem that way to me. Well, if he's not bothered by it, then I guess it's no big deal. By the way, is something going on with you? You seem to be in an oddly good mood. Then you must be seeing things. Am I? Because I suspect you might not be up to no good. And if I'm right, then you better dial it back. Hee hee. That night, I was lying on the sofa, wasting time like always. Listening to the TV's drone, I navigated to a Roost blog on my phone. I scrolled through the new articles and name caught my eye. Phrase. The Poe's artwork was unlike anything that came before. Instead of modifying a flower to look like a wound, he had placed a single strawberry on top of a white fabric and nothing more. For a moment, I questioned whether this was really a phrase piece, but then I recognized what it had in common with the rest. There is a half-inch incision on the surface of the berry, spread apart to reveal a sliver of the flesh inside. In my view, this was a more direct message than any of the others had been. Why had he chosen a fruit instead of flowers? Strawberry flowers, little white ones. Do strawberries have a meaning in flower language too? On a whim, I looked it up.
Kill yourself.
Sure enough, there it was. You make me happy. Phrase knew I visited the blog, so maybe this message was directed at me. A message from Ikuina, the artist phrase, the flower sender. It was just past 3 a.m. I grabbed a bottle of booze off the floor, brought it to my lips, and took a swig. I loudly chugged the lukewarm fluid, then lowered the bottle. I need to get as drunk as possible.
Grayson, don't patrol the streets.
He's gonna be like, okay, time to pass out.
I miss you.
I'd already pre-gamed at Roost earlier, so by the time I pulled my coat on and left the room, I was unsitting on my feet. I had no guarantee that it'd happen tonight, nor any proof, but something in my gut told me it would. That was why back at Roost. If I get blackout drunk tonight, you'll nurse me back to health, right? I had intentionally made that comment. As far as I could tell, Ikuina was reaching his limit. If flowers could no longer sate his hunger, then he would surely prowl the streets looking for prey passed out in the gutter. Oh god, he's asking for it.
He's literally like,
he's like, please fulfill my fantasies. Pressing a hand against the wall for support, I passed through the waiting room and out of the building. I was pretty sure I knew how to lure Phrase out of hiding. I smirked to myself like a hunter setting a snare.
God!
I should revisit the place I passed out. Oh, I'm scared. I'm gonna save. Move.
It was like Roost, right?
Well, it's not an option. Oh, it says this isn't the right spot. Kidnapping would be hard with this many witnesses. Not many people about. I mean, we can just visit. Do you want to go to alley or the street?
Let's go to the alley.
Okay. Oh, it says end exploration, huh? Oh, well, we'll go to the street first then. Someone tapped my shoulder from behind. Septoa-san. Wow, you're looking a little unsteady there. You okay? Yeah. That flicker did not say.
Yeah.
I just finished up my work, so I can help you get back to the clinic if you want. Nah, no need. I'm going somewhere else. In that condition, you sir? Well, be careful, Toa-san.
Yes.
But it's cold today. Oh, wait, he doesn't even want to talk to me? Okay, this blows. I'm going.
Because you're under the influence.
Okay. Things are about to go down. I can feel it. While the night was still dark, I staggered drunkenly into an empty alley. Without a moment of hesitation, I laid myself on the filthy ground. If memory served, this was right around where I passed out last time. me. With the chill of concrete on my back, I gazed up at the inky sky and then closed my eye. With vision obscured, my other senses sharpened. Smell. I could smell something decaying, the reek of the sewer, the humid air. I could hear the bustle of the city in the distance, the wail of ambulance sirens, the clink of cans as someone dug through a garbage can. I started to disassociate until I was just a series of stimuli floating there unattached to my physical form. Oddly enough, it was peaceful. Then, as my drunken brain struggled to function, I heard the sound of footsteps. I could feel the vibrations through the ground. Judging from the speed at which they were moving, someone was walking very carefully. He like tiptoeing. The footsteps approached, but then stopped short beside me. I caught a whiff of a familiar scent.
You get a cheeseburger.
I could get McDonald's!
Wow, a cheeseburger.
I'm so excited. But slightly different. But I couldn't open my eye. After all, I was passed out drunk, in quotations. They crouched down and opened the front of my coat.
They takes out his cock.
They quietly pushed my shirt up and I felt a faint sting of pain in my midsection. Did they cut me? Silence followed after that. But I could feel them there right next to me. After a long pause, they moved once more. This time, something touched my cheek. Oh! Oh! What the dog? Fingers grasped my chin, trying to force my mouth open. Oh, he's just drugging him. Okay. Oh, that's okay. Since I was playing possum, I couldn't fight it. My mouth opened and a small amount of liquid trickled inside. I almost swallowed it on reflex, but I managed to stop myself, instead holding the bitter liquid in my mouth. They grabbed my arm, put around their shoulders and attempted to haul me up. While they were distracted with that, I turned my head and spat out the liquid. Be like, Kuchi!
Epic spy move.
But put an arm around my waist and started walking slowly as if they were escorting me home. And since I'm pretending to be unconscious, I let them drag me along. Toa really does this for fun. He's like... Suddenly, I was flung down on a soft surface. On the way here, I opened my eye faintly to confirm what I already knew. This was the same condo from last time. I could hear something breathing heavily over me. Something cold touched my cheek. Surely he knew, right? The room smelled strongly of that almost absinthe scent. It had to be his natural odor. Oh, CG!
Oh.
Quietly, I opened my eye. Toa-san.
Hey, Karina.
Hey! There, in the dimly lit room, I locked eyes with Ina. I was lying on the bed and he had crawled on top of me, pressing a knife to my cheek. You were awake the whole time, weren't you? You knew that, and yet you brought me here anyway? I spoke matter-of-factly, like I haven't even noticed the knife. If you want to do it, then go ahead. You can't take it anymore, right? Trembling, Ikuina bit his lip and lowered the knife, pressed to my cheek. You aren't surprised by any of this, are you? You made it kind of obvious, pal. I paint the desires hidden deep in the human heart. His eyes shimmered in trepidation. Quietly, I looked back at him. I gazed deeply into his eyes, trying to read every tiny shift in emotion. If I could get him locked onto me, I could take control. Right now, he was looking at me like he was entranced. But this was no superpower. It's just a skill I picked up from my mother. The art of conversation and negotiation. I had next to no memory of my past, but I could vaguely remember her repeatedly teaching me how to talk to people. She described it as a way to get close to someone without misreading their intentions. According to her, the human heart was fragile. I was probably only this good at it because I inherited this talent from my mother. As far as I knew, she was adored by everyone around her, though she probably never imagined I would use those same skills for something like this. Not just any ordinary desire. What I paint are the dark, twisted dreams people would do anything to make real. And I bet you have one too, a thirst that flowers can't slake. Spill your guts and I'll paint it for you. Ikuina slumped his shoulders weakly. The knife in his hand fell to the bed.
He's leading up.
Now, start talking. I. Oh god, are we finally gonna interrogate? Oh god, go save! Save! Maybe I'll do an official save too. Just in case it's like branching. Okay. What the?
Oh. Hypnotism.
Oh god, it's time!
It's every mechanic at once.
I forgot what I'm supposed to do. Do you like hurting people?
Yeah.
No, that's not it. Provoke him a little? Or show affection?
Give him a little kiss.
Okay, well...
Positive.
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 You described it as caring for people, so I doubt you're only doing it to hurt them. Right? Okay.
Oh.
Use
Do you
inspiration.
want to calm him down or do you make him worse?
I mean, I feel like we're supposed to be like above the line.
Okay.
And just make sure it doesn't fall down. But then they told us what the objective was. It's supposed to be on the hourglass, but then I didn't pay attention to that.
Well, even then, they're like, if you get more madness, it's okay too. And I was like, what's the point of this?
Okay, it's okay. We just do what our heart tells us. It just don't make the powder sink to the bottom, or else we're done for.
Okay.
Okay, what's gotten you into this?
I
From
feel like that would make him sad, but maybe he wants to talk about it. This is the only thing we can say.
yeah,
so
or
I
we can
guess-
just say nothing. Like,
Um,
our inspo. Surely something must have gotten you into this hobby. What was the trigger? Oh no! Ah! Is your house covered in plants because you're trying to distract yourself? Not exactly. It's also a hobby of mine. Oh god. Oh no! This is making me anxious. Question or play along? I feel like playing along will make him happier. Oh wait,
Yeah,
look. Oh, it's the white one, which means that we need to fill it up. If that's the line. Or I don't know. Positive. I don't know what I'm doing. So you reach a point where you can't lie to yourself anymore.
Oh, he does say that. Oh.
Yes, I'd say so. It's no use. Oh, okay.
He enjoyed that.
His smoke seems pretty stable, both in color and movement. Why did you come to Shinkomi? Did you figure you could achieve your goal here? Well, Ikuina's freaking out. Provoke him, play along.
Provoke him.
Okay.
Negative.
After all, nobody here bats an eye when people get hurt or killed.
Oh, he didn't like that.
No, but
Oh, wait.
It just lowered the bar. Okay. It's all over? Say nothing. Fluster him even more.
Okay, say nothing.
Is that gonna fluster him?
Oh.
Well, I don't know if that's like our objective. Fluster him even more, say nothing, or...
I guess it's gonna be all over.
It's all over.
It's all over.
Heh. But if you make one wrong move, it's over. You'll end up lying on the pavement yourself.
Oh.
I know that, but I do. It's just I'm so miserable. Oh God.
Oops.
Forget it. No. No. Wait, did I make a bad move? All of a sudden, I lost interest and fell silent. No. Oh God. Well.
Good thing you saved.
Yeah, good thing I saved. Say nothing.
Say nothing. Oh, he wants to give him a little kiss.
The scar. What did Ikuna use for his art?
The flowers.
Flowers. Flower language or flowers?
Flowers.
Hana.
He's ripping it apart. Ooh, I want the sound effect.
You say you like flowers, but it really the flowers that you like? Well, the truth is... Oh, that's the object. Talk to him and calm him down. Okay. Gotta expose the secret. Okay. We're not done. This isn't enough. Wait, please. Oh
my God.
Are you interested in my scars? Yes. I should cut to the chase. Tease him? Press him further. Oh God. Okay, let me quick save.
I think press him further. I feel like teasing him will make him cry.
Okay. Are you into scars the same way I am? Well. Oh!
Oh shit! Wrong answer. Wrong answer.
Don't hesitate. You can touch him.
Problem. That one.
No problem. You can touch him if you want to. If it's you, I don't mind. Oh, he.
He like that.
Do you want to give someone scars? Cut them? He's starting to slip. Bait him? Say it flat out. Oh God. Bait him. Toa-san. His smoke is swaying erratically and getting darker. Which do you prefer? Cutting or being cut? He seems unsure. Make implications? Say it plainly. Maybe...
Make implications?
Yeah, we're gonna... Like, we get game over.
I feel like he doesn't like when you're upfront with him.
You've done a lot of cutting, so I guess you're not into receiving. Oh God.
Nope. That pissed him off.
If you tell it to me straight, Al. Make him sweat? Answer?
Answer?
I will answer. I'll make your dream come true. Oh, he liked that one.
Oh God.
Oh God. Are you hesitating? Guess I'll encourage him.
Yeah. That one. You still hesitating?
Yosh. What's gotten to you? Are you still hesitating? Oh God.
Oh shit.
No! This game is hard.
Oh God.
Oh God. Okay, so we'll press him further.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, wrong one.
No. Remember, and then we had to do no problem for you, unless it's like. What did we say? Bait him?
Yeah, bait him.
Okay, okay.
Um.
I forgot. Do you like implications, or maybe you should say it plainly?
Yeah. Say it plainly. He didn't like that.
Definitely prefer cutting then. Okay, okay.
Okay.
Or I'll make him sweat. Make him sweat.
Yeah.
Want me to finish that thought? Then start talking. Oh god.
Oh shit.
It's all over?
Say nothing. Just say nothing. Oh wait.
Ah! Okay, maybe we have to like we have to build up the good kitschis because we're like not.
Okay.
Okay, well, wait, did this lower it? I forgot. Tease him. I don't know. I could tell right away you stare too damn much. Oh. Okay, okay.
Oh, he did like that. Okay.
Okay. You can tell him if you want to. Okay. Say it flat out.
Say it flat out.
Koa-san.
Oh, he did it.
His okay. Oh. Oh god, what did we say plainly?
Say plainly.
Oh god, I just raised the bar. And make him sweat.
It's all over.
It all No! I'm sorry! Maybe it's time to revisit that tutorial.
We have to get them all right.
Quick load. No, because like sometimes the white line moves, but I don't know what that means.
I think the white line's the good line.
Yeah, but then I think we have to like be above a certain line, or else like if it like, keeps raising and lowering, we just need to be above it.
Okay.
So first we'll tease him, give it a little.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just try to juice him up as much as possible. Touch him. Oh, I forgot. Bait him.
Yeah. Now it goes down.
Oh god, but the
wait.
white one goes
Oh, no.
up. Oh god. I think this makes it go back down. Maybe.
No, that's not what he likes.
Oh god.
Oh fuck. Are we trying to make it go down?
I don't know what we're trying to do. Make
I
him.
don't know, I guess answer. Answer? We'll make it go down.
Oh god, it's going even higher.
That one. That one, I guess.
Oh!
Oh.
I don't even know what we're doing. I don't know what made that better or what's happening.
I'm so fucking confused.
Quick save. Maybe we're trying to make his madness go up? Because the white line is...
we did it.
Okay, well, yeah, we did it, so... The symbol of his desire is... Scars? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Here he comes.
No, he's breaking through.
So scary. Awesome.
Oh yeah. What really interests you is the cuts, isn't that right? Yes. Gotcha. I understand completely.
Do you? Actually, yeah, you probably fucking
You want to cut people open. That's your dark desire. Yes, it is. You're exactly right.
You had to do that to be able to tell that? That was obvious.
No, but we have to make sure that Toa's still interested.
my god.
Ah! The tutorial didn't tell me what would happen if that happens.
Explode.
What I truly want isn't mere flowers. I'm using the flowers as a surrogate. The truth is, I want to see wounds engraved in human flesh, or more specifically, I want to see inside the wounds. But obviously, I can't do that. I tried cutting into my own arm, but that wasn't enough. He squinted his eyes as if enduring invisible pain, then he smiled faintly. Flowers don't resist like people do, and yet if you cut them, they still bleed. It felt like they validated the person I am inside, and it felt reassuring. I told myself that as long as I had flowers, I would be alright, but over time I found myself wanting more and more. And the more I crushed the flowers, the more guilty I felt. His hesitant gaze locked onto me. Oddly enough, I don't feel that way toward people, guilt I mean, but people always fight back, so I can never exactly get what I want. All this time, I've been agonizing over what I should do. Then I came up with my current cut and patch method. That way, maybe they'll forgive me for hurting them.
Nice.
And since the city is home to death matches, I figured no one noticed a few extra injuries lying on the street. I could never get away with it in the mainland, where everyone's paranoid. That's why I came here. And sure, perhaps it's just that Shinkomi has a higher crime rate, but I feel maybe I would find a few kindred spirit here. Yukina paused there to let out a breath, his brow tightly knitted. All this time, I kept human victims to a minimum while using flowers as a surrogate, trying to lie to myself, but I can't anymore. I need something more, and it's killing me. The more people I cut, the more I crave. Then I found you passed out entirely by chance. And when I was cutting you, that's when I discovered the scars all over your body. It hit me like a freight train and started to shiver. That was the moment I finally understood what I wanted. Yes, what I truly want is to cut someone to shreds. I want to see inside them. So that's why you brought me to your condo? Grimacing, he nodded. Yes, my goal wasn't to keep cutting you. I just wanted to see more of your scars. I love your cuts, especially the big one right at the center of your chest. Distracted by the memory, he swallowed. Your chest scar is truly sublime. It makes me wonder how it was achieved in the first place. After I treated you, the thought kept me up at night with sheer excitement. So I went back to the area I found you and started asking around about a man with scars all over his body. Back then I didn't know your name, but then I met someone who told me all about you, and from there I went to Roost. Who told you? About that, I'm sorry, I can't tell you.
Oh, okay.
Huh? Guiltily he averted his eyes. Was the anonymous flower delivery part of the plan? Yes, I wanted an opportunity to get close to you, but how did you know they were from me? The flower language, you made it way too obvious. Honestly, part of me wanted you to figure it out.
Blush? Ew.
He laughed bashfully. And another thing, the flowers you delivered always smelled like absinthe. Absinthe? Oh, you mean wormwood? That's what this room smells like, right? Yes, that's right. My grandmother used to grow wormwood. I liked it a lot. The smell is very soothing. That's why I made a little wormwood sachets and placed them all over the house, and I grow them myself, of course. Still, I didn't realize this thing smell would cling to me to that extent. I couldn't tell. How careless of me. Yet for some reason he was smiling. All this time, I believed that you would understand how I feel. My fantasy of seeing inside a wound has grown more and more intense, and by this point, I don't really know what to do about it anymore. Have you always felt this way? No, but I experienced a deeply traumatic incident during my childhood, and I think that might have started it. What happened? I don't really remember all the details, but when I was a child, I cut someone with a knife over and over. It was terrifying, and I wanted to run, but I remember watching the blood pour out from the cuts. And I think that had a lasting effect on me. You think?
Awesome. Thank you, Ikaruta.
Once he was finished, Ikaruta took a deep breath and closed his eyes. He was clearly trying to get his emotions under control. His flushed cheeks and pursed lips betrayed the shame he felt. Meanwhile, I shot a quick glance around the room. The sexy time flowers.
I know, he's so
The floor and table were both littered with flower petals, as was the bed, as if for a decorative effect. Do it. What? At this, his eyes wide in surprise. I understand what it is you desire, so make it happen. Toa-san. He stared at me with disbelief. I rolled up one of my sleeves, revealing my scarred flesh on my arm, and offered it to him. Hands shaking, he slowly picked up his knife and pointed the tip at me. Are you really sure about this? Hesitantly, he stopped the knife just before it touched my skin. My only response was a faint smile. His expression stiffened and he stared down at my bare flesh. Then, summoning his resolve, he pressed a blade into my skin. Yoink! And drew a cut across it. Slowly the line turned into scarlet beads of blood. As scarlet beads of blood rose to the surface. Ugh. They said with heavy breathing, I could hear what sounds like a moan. As the cut stung, I donned a provocative sneer. Is that all you got? Come on. I thrust my arm at him, goading him on further. But the first cut must have flipped a switch on him, because this time he sank the knife into me without hesitation, deeper too. Ow! Okay, I want to get out now. The sharp pain made me grunt. Unlike S-word or violence, the pain of pierced flesh was especially vivid. It had been a while since I last felt it. As the thrill set in, I licked my lips. Now there are two fresh cuts side by side. The blood from the second overtook that of the first. Oh my god, someone perioded on the bed. A coppery smell filled the room. The knife fell to the bed, leaving a big red stain on the white sheets. Now it looked as though the petals were floating atop a sea of blood. Toa-san, Toa-san. Why does it sound like he's saying Oto-san? Dad? He called out to me desperately. As the aching pain rushed to my head, I spread the cut wider with my fingers. There was so much blood, it almost looked fake. A sliver of pink flesh was visible deep inside.
Ouch!
Irina saw and swallowed hard. He wants it. He gazed at the cut like it was like a long-lost lover. That was what he was been yearning for. Gently, he took my bloody arm, spread the cut, and gazed inside hungrily. Oh! Meanwhile, I picked up the knife off the bed and slashed the back of his hand without warning. Startled, he pulled his hand away and looked at me. With a daring grin, I licked the blood off the blade. You have to let me play too. Show me your insides. Toa-san!
Toa-san!
This seemed to open the floodgates, so to speak.
I love that this is the first sex scene you get to say.
Yeah, to just start cutting each other. Wait, show me your chest scar. Look at these perky nipples. He took the knife from me and used it to cut my shirt in half. In so doing, he revealed the scar that ran straight through the center of my chest. He froze paralyzed. If he just like comes back to the clinic and he's like literally
He's like, hey guys.
He's like half dead. I drew my bleeding arm to my chest and rubbed it back and forth right in front of him. In a blink, a fresh coat of crimson paint was applied to my raised scars. Duh. We were both breathing hard. I could see Ikurina's bulge in his pants. But right now, we weren't looking for the rote pleasure of boring old regular sex.
Yeah, boring.
I wanted us to penetrate each other with a knife instead.
Jesus
Neither of us said a word, but we both knew. We're freaks. Ikurina grasped the knife and pressed the tip just below my clavicle. Oh, this is like the Ren ending. Then in a single swift motion, he dragged it down toward my navel. Ugh. The pain of the cut was far more intense than the last. It shot through the center of my body, making me gasp for breath.
That's where all your organs are.
Yeah, he's literally dying. Now a new cut was bleeding parallel to my chest scar. Oh! Breathing heavily, Ikuina tossed the knife away and ran both of his hands over my chest. He pressed his thumb to the fresh incision and slowly spread it apart. Ah! Itai! It's his ass on the screen. Ugh. I grimaced and groaned. It was agony. It felt like he was literally ripping me apart, and I loved it. My brain converted the bone-rattling pain into pleasure. In that sense, it was actually soothing. And the more passionate, the better. I wanted more. I wanted the pain to dominate me. Ugh. Ikuina spread my chest wound and let out a gasp that was both sensual and wistful. The cut wasn't deep enough to see my organs. I hope it wasn't. But it was still flesh normally hidden from sight. Now that he was faced with the kind of wound he'd always dreamed of, Ikuina trembled. Wet with blood, the living flesh wriggled and breathed.
Toa-san, you're beautiful. His voice was an entranced murmur. As I gasped for breath, I laughed and plucked the knife from his hand. Flustered, he stripped his clothes off and leaned in close to me.
Oh boy.
So close. Our noses almost touched. Our lips almost touched.
Yeah, that's like too intimate.
They're like covered in each other's blood.
Like, oh, but we're so close.
You're almost touching. Ah!
Oh, the shirt came off.
God, I forgot how fucking bad it was. Then I took the knife to his chest and dragged it down. He's crying.
I feel like he's gonna end up killing him. This man cannot live while the other love interests are still roaming.
Yeah, what? He just like beat in the side.
Like he's gonna be like, thank you for enlightening me, and then he like disappears. I don't know.
We just like continue the show step with the doctor. And then just like, hey, Ikuina, and he's like, hey guys.
Hey.
A single cut had formed on his otherwise flawless chest, crying tears of blood onto me. No. I sat up slightly and ran my tongue along the incision.
Looking at all the diseases.
He's literally gonna give him chest herpes. Ow! I started from the bottom and worked my way up. The taste of metal filled my mouth.
Why are you crying like that?
He looks so happy. His brows knitted tightly. He looked at me and smiled, still dripping fluid onto me. There on his face, the pain and pleasure had jumbled together to create true joy. Now we both match. I see. You think I'll end up with a scar like yours?
Guys, we have matching scars.
That's so romantic, actually.
Beats
me. I don't give a shit. At this, his smile deepened. Slowly, he climbed further on top of me. We were now connected by our chest cuts.
Guys, what if we're different blood types, and then my body starts rejecting it?
Sepsis. The old beneath the new. This was what we wanted. Is it? Is that what you went to his house for?
Okay, he's kind of a freak, though.
No. Huh. Our blood mixed between our bodies, wet and warm. Cool. The intermittent pain was proof that we were still alive. Every time he moved, our cuts... Oh my god, ew.
Oh, no!
Oh god, I could feel his soft flesh. The blood kept pouring, enveloping our bodies in damp warmth. Toa-san. Ikuina took the knife and pressed it against my arm. As it moved, a new cut was born beneath it. Red fluid trailed just behind. He's literally gonna die.
You'd be like,
Next, I took the knife.
Be like, let's stop right there.
I don't think they're gonna stop. They're gonna like find their dead bodies and be like, oopsies.
Be like, oops, I cut in too much, and then he leaves.
He has to go to the new state. Toa-san. Blood loss. I started to laugh. He's literally going to die. Every breath I took was wet with blood. As my fingers clutched at the sheets, they brushed something.
I thought it was talk.
Yeah, it's time to jack off now. I grabbed a handful and sprinkled them over Ikaruna's back. As they fluttered down, a few slipped in between us and landed in the blood, which quickly stained them red. Almost like little chunks of meat have been torn.
This is hilarious.
I love Comedy Central. Oh my god, laughing! I grabbed even more petals and scattered them over his back, over and over.
He's literally crazy.
He's literally like seeing the light. He's oh my god.
He's like loopy. Looked insane. You are insane.
We must have looked insane.
Oh.
And in fact, we were. Where? I accepted that insanity and returned it with full force. My output was a work of art. I mixed other people's madness with my own. Blended it, kneaded it, painted it. In that sense, my art was always a group project. I'm so cooperative. Make with other people's vomit and excreta.
I hope there's no poop in here. I'm gonna get upset.
That's gonna be his next fetish. It's just someone has to take a shit and he'd be like, ooh.
Poop fetish.
I never knew people's inside could be so beautiful. I always yearned to see it. And you were the one to show it to me, Towa-san. It means the world to me. And then he dies. Thank you so much.
Anyways, new inspo for my next painting.
What, them covered in blood on the bed? 911?
Oh no, Taku!
Do me a favor, come get me. The address is... Bitch. After Ikaruna's euphoric episode, I scraped together the last dregs of my conscious mind, then with shaking fingers I placed a call on my cell phone. Luckily, Taki picked up, and 20-30 minutes later, he and Ray came running into Ikaruna's condo. They were like, what the actual fuck?
What is this?
I went back home to the clinic, but Ikuruna was taken to a different facility. The Takanakuchi Medical Office.
They're like, I'm not treating him.
We don't want him in our office. Apparently, Taki made the call after he saw that my injuries were a lot worse than he was expecting. After cutting each other to shreds, Ikuruna and I had lost a lot of blood. If I had waited any longer to make the call, he said I might have died. But from my perspective, this thing happened all the time. I would interrogate my art model to learn their darkest wishes, and then I would grant them. Most people who were drawn to apply for the Euphoria modeling game generally had some sort of unspeakable darkness buried inside. Birds of a feather flock together, as they say. If I determined that I was able to grant their wish, and that they could truly craved it from the bottom of their heart, I would respond to their email. But this is like over email. He's like, hey guys.
Yeah.
That said, I rejected any desires pertaining directly to death. Not that I was afraid to die, but there was no coming back from it. Once I was dead, there was nothing to look forward to. I could generally find out if someone's desire was the real deal by talking to them about it. It helped that I could observe their emotional reactions through their smoke. If it wasn't the real deal, then I called the whole thing off on the spot. Thus far, I had never made the wrong call. By making use of my epic conversational skills and their smoke, I could get a near-perfect read on people. This made them easy marks to manipulate. Lord.
Oh boy.
This guy sucks.
Gatekeep girl boss.
Quick politician. No one who modeled for me ever spoke of their euphoric episode to a third party. I only chose the ones who I knew wouldn't turn around and regret it later. That was why I often went a few months in between pieces. To fucking recover.
You'd be like, ooh.
She's not able to move for like 2 months. Why are they so committed to drawing people's dark desires? Well, for one thing, it interested me. And for another, I lived for the exact moment when my model's dream came true, and their every trace of rationality melted away like butter.
Oh boy. Phrase.
Awesome. The end of chapter 1.